Is it not going live? Do you want me to do it?
It's not that.
Oh, there it is. Oh, we've been live for 10 seconds. Hey there. What's up, guys? Breaking news. Dusty Baker has announced his retirement per ESPN. We're going to talk about this on an emergency podcast. We're locked on Astros. Let's get started right now.
Welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. I guess it would help if I'm on the screen. Here I am. So thank you guys for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast and help us get to 10,000. We are at 9,911 subscriptions.
That's right.
We want to get to 10,000, guys. So become one of those people that help us get there. Dusty Baker was one of those people that helped the Astros get to the World Series. They are the team they are right now because of Dusty Baker. And so we want to use this episode as a way to announce what was just kind of announced a little while ago. But I think that we want to say thank you, Dusty Baker, for everything that you've done. Yes, there's some things that we wish you would have done differently over the year, but we thank you, Dusty Baker, for everything that you did. And before we get started, I want to do this one last time, Brett.
Thoughts by Dusty.
This is Dusty Baker. Today, I'm done.
There you go. I love it. In true Dusty fashion, I am done. And according to Brian McTaggart in his newsletter, he basically said that, after the World Series appearance and after everything that he's accomplished as a manager here, he's headed for retirement. Dana Brown, who was hired as a GM, will have a say in who takes the manager's chair. But he said owner Jim Crane and Jeff Bagwell, the team's senior advisor to ownership and baseball operations, will oversee finding the next Astros skipper. Now, I know for some fans that worries them because they don't know about Bagwell's decision-making ability because of what happened with Jose Abreu. He was a big catalyst in signing. Jose Abreu for most of the season was not very good. And so a lot of people are going to say, oh, no, Jeff Bagwell's involved. Look, Jim Crane's involved. I trust Jim Crane. A lot of people questioned why James Click and Jim Crane didn't get along and why that happened, because he did make some key moves. But then he brought in Dana Brown, made a really good decision. It seems like Dana Brown and the club gave Dusty Baker full reins of the managerial duties of creating the roster and the lineup on a daily basis. And that frustrated a lot of fans. We will talk at length about it in our full episode. He was not given a good grade by FanGraphs for his managerial decisions, even though he made it to the final game of the ALCS. But some fans are rejoicing. Some fans are mad. Some fans just respectfully respect Dusty, say, have a good one. Look, I'm glad he was here. I think he calmed things when things were stormy, when things were rough. But in the end, there were a lot of things for me that he left to be desired, and I wish he would have done more of here and there. But definitely respect the heck out of Dusty Baker, and he genuinely, I think, is a good person inside and out. So we start a new chapter, and we just start talking about who will the next skipper be.
Yeah, and I think that this is the perfect time for the kind of the mutual parting. I think that Dusty Baker wanted that second World Series ring. That's partially why he stayed. I know that Jim Crane, especially with Dusty Baker's age, with kind of the situation, I think that Jim Crane wanted to give him the year-by-year contract. He didn't want to give him the multi-year contract, and Dusty Baker was fine with that. And so I think that this is the perfect time to just say, okay, This is time to kind of just say, yeah, let's go ahead and part ways. And I think we've kind of seen it. Dusty Baker this year get a little bit frustrated with the media, frustrated with maybe the fan base, frustrated with maybe even some players on his own team who maybe wanted some more playing time. So I think that he wants to get some peace. He wants to go and enjoy retirement, enjoy his hunting dogs, enjoy his family. And he's been managing for 26 years. He's been playing baseball for a long, long time. So I think that this is a great time for him. And that's all I have to say about that. We'll talk about some of the candidates in a second. But definitely, this is a great day for our podcast, because now we get to talk about who's next, who are the candidates, and we'll talk about that in a second.
That's right. And this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is here. October baseball is here. And the Diamondbacks are playing against, that other team in Texas. But if you want to make your postseason debut with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, you need to go to FanDuel today. And you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's right. I mean, where else can you get 200 for $5? That seems like a steal of a deal. But it's true. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to create your new account. Then you can get into the action from the first pitch to the final out. Bet on everything from strikeouts to home runs to who will win the game. I mean, will Ketel Marte continue his 16-game hitting streak in the World Series in the postseason? We'll have to see. And if you don't want to wait for the whole game to get the W, then predict what will happen in your next at bat with quick bets like Ketel Marte's first at bat. Is he going to get a hit and extend that hitting streak? So head on over to FanDuel.com/lockedon today and step up to the plate for the postseason. Hit a home run with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
All right. So if you're looking at, he's been managing for 26 years. He had 2,183 wins in the regular season, 1,862 regular season losses. He had 3 pennants, 1 World Series title. So he had a lot of history. Definitely something that a lot of people were kind of expecting. Eventually, this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. This is a guy that's probably going to go just everything that he's done. He's been part of history. Hank Aaron, he played with Hank Aaron. He's played with all these players in the past. And that's what Ryan Stanek, he said. He's like, normally your manager is not the most popular guy in the clubhouse. And that's what he is. And so what we've seen is that this guy has been trying to decide all season, do I want to do this again? I enjoy doing this, but do I want to do this, or do I want to move on with his life? And so according to the Athletic, they also said that Baker would like to remain in the game in some capacity. So maybe not as a manager, but maybe as something. But for right now, we do know that there's a press conference tomorrow at 11 a.m. Jim Crane's supposed to be there. Dana Brown's supposed to be there. And Dusty Baker's supposed to be there. So that way we're going to hear exactly what's going on with Dusty Baker. He's expected to announce his retirement, and that will start the Astros search for a manager. I know that everybody's seeing this thing from Jason Bristol on the odds for who's going to be the next manager. You have Joe Espada at -200, Will Venable at +700, Buck Showalter, Don Mattingly, AJ Hinch, Craig Counsell, Walt Weiss, and is there any more? That's it. So I know one name I would like to throw in there. I think that Brad Ausmus with the Houston Astros and Jeff Bagwell tied into it. He always has a chance. He's probably going to get an interview as well. So those are some of the names that you have out there. I know that Espada is likely the guy that's going to get the most attention, because maybe he's been the intern, the guy that's been kind of trained and groomed for this job. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the names on that list that I do like, and a lot of people are high on Craig Counsell, and I actually wasn't too high on him because of what he's not been able to do with the Brewers in the postseason. And look, I mean, some guys, maybe they just need the right team, but it just seems like the Brewers maybe didn't give him everything he needed, but at times they had a great staff. And for all intents and purposes, the Brewers were favorites going into 2 of these last 3 seasons. But
Right.
Council's done a phenomenal job there. People keep saying AJ Hinch. I really doubt AJ Hinch comes back here just because of 2017. It just wouldn't make sense. Why do we want to keep dusting up stuff? Don Mattingly's not a bad option. Buck Showalter, I'm absolutely out on 100%. Will Venable is a good option. I think he did really well when he was with the Texas Rangers. Walt Weiss was a manager, I think, for a short time with the Colorado Rockies. He does some stuff with the Braves now, and maybe his ties with Dana puts him towards the top of the list. But for all intents and purposes, Joe Espada, I would love for Martin Maldonado to join the coaching staff. I think if Espada stays, someone like Maldonado, if he does retire, if he doesn't come back to baseball, would find a coaching role here.
Right.
Because bring me Yainer Diaz. It's Diaz season, people. I am happy that we are getting a new manager. I hate to see someone like Dusty go because I respect him. He is a good man on and off the field. He's a good character guy, and that's the kind of guy you want. But I am so excited to see what Yainer Diaz is going to do, especially at home, especially at the plate, behind the plate, how he's going to guide these pitchers. And I think we're in for an exciting off season. We are excited. Hopefully they announce who the team is, the search team, is for this managerial decision. I think it's going to be a thanking Dusty for all he's done, giving him credit, giving him that respect. So here we go, man. We're starting a new era with the skipper because we haven't had a new skipper. Dusty came in after AJ Hinch was fired. So this is literally, will he continue the golden era? We know that we have the players, but what kind of mindset will a new manager bring? Are they going to go with an analytics guy? Are they going to go with a guy that's more of a firebrand and gets guys lit up? Because to me, you've got to have some sort of focus. And maybe Joe Espada is that guy. He just hasn't been able to have that position. Joe Espada's advantage is he's laid a foundation with them.
All right. So if you're looking at, we have some breaking news from Greg Rajan over at the Chronicle. He says, according to the Contemporary Era Committee for Managers, Executives, Umpires, Dusty Baker is eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame election 6 months after retirement, since he's older than 65.
Awesome. So he could, Dusty could go into the Hall of Fame before Jose Altuve. Well, I guess he would.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
okay, yeah. Interesting. Okay, very cool. Very cool. Well, congratulations. Hats off. Yeah, and Joe Madden, another name? No, sorry. He couldn't even. No Joe Madden, please. I don't need an older manager with a lot of tread off the tire. I need someone like a Council, someone like a Mattingly, because I tweeted out earlier that I wasn't high on Council. I started looking into him. Maybe he can get over that playoff hump, postseason hump with the Astros.
Let's go get Tony La Russa.
Eric, oh my gosh. Lord have mercy. What?
I know. I'm just joking around here, but
I know you're joking. But and at the end of the day, go Diamondbacks.
Yeah. Go Diamondbacks. And it was, speaking of which, are we surprised that they beat the Phillies? I mean, the Phillies look like this juggernaut of a team, especially going in the first round, the first couple rounds, and then all of a sudden they get squashed by the Diamondbacks. And no disrespect to the Rangers, but I think us Astros fans, we kind of felt the same way. I know it's not the same Astros team, but it just felt like, wait, the Rangers beat us? And it's, I bet you that's how Phillies are, the Phillies fans are feeling right now. But Dusty Baker, I attribute a lot of the success to him. I know that a lot of people say, well, he didn't use this pitcher this time. He didn't have the right batting order. He didn't play the right player. But this is not the time to really talk about it. This is time to celebrate a career because he's retiring and he's going to go on, move on. And we need to move on too and focus on the future and what's going to happen next for Houston Astros. And that's going to start with finding a new manager. But the Astros did make a claim today on a relief pitcher. What's his name? Oliver something. Oliver Ortega from the Twins. And so he was automatically placed on the 60-day IL, meaning he's going to come off the 60-day IL. They're going to have to add him to the 40-man roster at some point.
Right.
But he had a great season in AAA and major leagues. It wasn't quite as well, but we'll talk about more about that in the full show. But I'm excited about the idea of a new manager. Now, let's just hope that Jim Crane takes his time, but at the same time, there are 5 other managerial openings.
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. You got to get the guy you want quickly.
Yeah, do not know. I would say just make sure you hire the guy that you think fits your club the best. But hey, we just wanted to break in for a quick emergency podcast. Thank you guys and girls for showing up. Look at that, 200 plus of y'all showing up 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us, Eric. Dude, I don't have anything else, but we will have a show later at 8:30. We'll talk about this, some other things, some grades for the team, and going forward, the needs, what this team needs.
Right. We'll definitely talk about this some more, and then more will come out, and you'll hear players across baseball say what they remember about Dusty Baker, because he's been around for generations, and this is not just the manager that took the Astros to almost back-to-back World Series, but this is a guy who has kind of navigated the Astros through the storm of the controversy and almost took them to where to get that 3rd World Series championship. They just fell a little bit short. So congrats, Dusty. Enjoy your retirement, and we'll see you later. And go Astros.
That's right. Thanks, Dusty. Have a good one. I'll just say it behind the blue screen.
Okay.
I'll say it tonight.
Just